I've seen stuff go to appraisal that should not have gone to appraisal. It's people contractors that are selling lies to people like, oh, you have this damage, this is gonna cost this, but then honestly at the appraisal it ends up not being anything. It was a waste of time, waste of money for everyone. So one option that a lot of our customers who are homeowners utilize in regards to a dispute on their insurance claim is their appraisal. We've had a lot of customers over the years utilize this process, and we have some people in the industry that we recommend, but we've been through it a few times, and it's a process that not many people know about. So from the contractor's perspective, we wanted to make a video that was informative on what is appraisal, how does it work, what to expect, and when we see it being used. So what is appraisal? Well, it kind of is like a home appraisal or appraiser, except the thing that is being valued is the loss on the home. So if you have a hail damaged home, the appraisal panel would be there to establish the scope and the price of what it costs to repair it. Because most of the times when our customers utilize their appraisal process, or they get into the appraisal process, is when their insurance carrier is at one price point, estimates that they're getting from numerous contractors are another price point, and there's just a dispute and there's no resolution available immediately. Let me describe the process that we've seen from the contractor's perspective on the appraisals that we've done with our customers. Typically what they do is they hire an appraiser, and that person is a qualified person who understands the construction industry, hail, wind, general construction, and they know how to value a loss, so they know how to estimate it. So the homeowner hires an appraiser. They typically send a letter to their insurance carrier, and the insurance carrier gets it, and typically they respond within 10 days in naming their own appraiser. So what happens is those two appraisers then meet together and they discuss the dispute, and they try to come to a solution of coming to the middle. What is the actual loss? So they're both going to appraise it from an independent perspective. They're both supposed to be independent. However, that's why they're coming together to do it. If they can't come to a resolution, then an umpire is hired by both of the parties. And typically this person, what they do is they act like a judge almost, where they listen to everyone's evidence, arguments by contractors, homeowner, expert witnesses, engineers, all this stuff, and they make the final decision. So the process goes, they hire an appraiser, the insurance company hires an appraiser, those two decide on an umpire that they both agree on to be the decision maker between them, and then they set a date that they're going to go out to the property and assess the loss. Once the date is set that they're all going to have the appraisal on site, then everyone typically needs to submit all the evidence and estimates, any material evidence that was pertinent to the loss 10 days before the appraisal on site, so everyone can review it before then. Everyone shows up then on the day of appraisal. Everyone is asked to give their statements if they have any opening statements before the appraisal starts. It's almost like going to court in a sense, but they have their opening statements, present evidence, present this, and then the appraisers and the umpire go and deliberate, kind of like a jury. They go off and they deliberate, and they come back later with an award. That written award typically is set in stone, not overturned. This is it. So it's a low-cost resolution that our homeowners and customers utilize when there's a dispute on price and scope of work. So it sounds complicated, but it's really not that complicated. It's relatively easy. We've had a lot of clients go through this process. So the homeowner pays for the appraisal. Typically it ranges from about $1,000 to $2,000. It all depends on the size of the dispute and the size of the loss. But it's a couple $1,000s, and typically if you have a dispute, it's not over just $1,000 or $2,000. You wouldn't, typically people aren't doing an appraisal over a couple thousand. This is like usually 5 figures or more. So the return on investment for the homeowner, if they are justified in what they're doing, because I've seen stuff go to appraisal that should not have gone to appraisal. It's contractors that are selling lies to people like, oh, you have this damage, this is going to cost this, but then honestly at the appraisal it ends up not being anything. It was a waste of time, waste of money for everyone, and they led them wrong. So having a qualified contractor, a qualified appraiser on the front end to identify if it's even viable for that would be really important, because you don't want to waste anyone's time. Because carriers, although they're not perfect, they shouldn't pay for stuff that's not justified, and that's wrong. It's not good for the homeowner, it's not good for the carriers, it's not good for the industry as a whole, because it's wasted money and it's just wasted time for everyone. My name is Josh Swisher with Northface Construction. You can visit us at northfaceconstruction.com. And if you're looking for an appraiser that we recommend locally that is competent, qualified, feel free to reach out to us, even if we're not your contractor and you have a qualified contractor. And if your contractor's not familiar with the appraisal process, we'd be happy to let them know our experience and to introduce you and your contractor to an appraiser that we've worked with in the past and seen our clients have success with.